H.R. Toll Machines, Angel Burning, Doug speaking.
Yeah, hey Doug, this is Brendan. How's it going?
Just fine.
Hey, so I wanted to touch base with you real quick. I got my car back today from Mark over at
Oh,
Fast
okay.
Forward Performance.
Yeah.
Did you ever get a chance to go out there and look at that engine with him?
I took the push rods out when he thought we had a push rod problem, and I said, "Hey, Tom, I've been out there. I talked to him this morning. He thinks you're one tooth off winter timing."
Yeah. Well, he thinks a lot of stuff.
Okay.
Quite frankly, I mean, I'm not gonna get into all the ins and outs of the whole deal, but I'm extremely upset um, because basically he lied to me. Now, at this point, I don't know if it's just that he doesn't want to do the work, can't do the work, or if there's other parts and components in the engine that I bought from you that are wrong that might be causing the problem, just like the push rods. Now, did you confirm that the push rods were actually short?
When we put the longer ones in, they presented themselves a little bit better than what the stock ones did. I don't think there would have been a problem with the other ones, but I went ahead and said, let's not have a problem there, and traded the push rods out.
Okay.
As far as everything else goes, everything should be right in spec. Now, I don't know what you have going on with Mark, but I've never known Mark to lie to anybody on anything. And if he called me, and if I had something out there and said, "Hey, dude, I think you're off on your timing," I would just about imagine that I probably was off on the timing.
Well, I mean, I appreciate your opinion. However, the fact that he sent my car back to me without a battery, I paid $1,500 to get
Okay,
my car running
without a
and to get the
battery,
tailgate
all
put
right.
together. What's that?
I said without a battery. Okay.
Well, no, no. The reason why I bring it up is because I specifically talked to him on the phone. I recorded the conversation with him because he was griping about having to pay for the battery, and I said, "Well, I gave you $1,500. Didn't that pay for a battery too?" And so he was like, "Oh, I'll just throw it in." Well, then I sent a tow truck to go pick up the car because he didn't get it running, and the car comes back and there's no battery in the car. So he not only did he not send the battery that he supposedly bought with my $1,500, but he stole my old battery too, or traded it in for the core. But no, this is what I'm talking about. I appreciate your opinion, but the facts are the facts. The guy lied to me, and I'm not doing this to shit talk him to other people in the community. I'm telling you how it is. The guy flat out lied to me, and I can't trust his word for anything at this point. I never I never had it confirmed other than talking to you guys that the push rods were actually short. Every time I went out there to look at the car, he was never working on it. And I know this isn't your deal, this isn't your business, but I'm just letting you know what I dealt with in my experience. So at this point, I got him dragging his feet, not doing his work that I paid him to do. Um, and then on top of that, like just with all the wrong parts, and bottom line is between the money I spent with you and the money I spent with him, I don't have a running car. I don't know if there's a parts issue or if I mean it could be that the timing gears are off by a tooth. It could be something that simple. But what pisses me off is when I spend $1,500, actually a total of $3,000 over 10 weeks, and I can't get two separate mechanics to figure it out. It's not that complicated.
Yeah, I don't know what the two other mechanic or the other guy and Mark what all they did, Brendan.
No, I got it. I'm just telling you from my
Yeah,
perspective. I'm not
yeah.
expecting you to
And as
talk on their
far as the
behalf.
parts go, the only thing that I could find there was the push rods, and the push rods I sold should have worked. I don't think that was the problem. They wouldn't have gave you as much adjustment as what I saw, so I thought, you know what, we got issues here as far as something's wrong. Well, let's go ahead and change the push rods out so that we do have adjustment options. That's why I changed the push rods on you. Other than that, that top end kit, everything is designed to work together. There is nothing on those parts that shouldn't jive. And
Right.
and whoever you take us to in the future, tell them that it is a performance camshaft and it does not time as a 302. At least I don't think it does. Most of those cams time as a 351, and the original problems, it sounded like the timing was a problem, so I told them it times a 351, and it seemed to help some things, but it still acts like it's out of time. now. So if you have somebody else work on it, tell them it is timed as a 351 and not a 302 because of performance camshaft. If there's still a problem there, by all means, go back to the 302 timing and see what that does. When he originally said that it was running, but it wasn't running right, didn't act like any power, that is symptoms of the timing being wrong between the two camshafts, between a 351 and a 302 camshaft. That's why I told him to change the timing, and then he seemed to think things got a little bit better. He's just having a hard time starting it. Well, with the hard time starting it, that tells me it's advanced really, really far, which tells me that, yes, there's probably a tooth out on the timing between the crank and the cam, or a half tooth. Because if it was retarded back the other way, it would start really easy, but it wouldn't have as much pep, and it might burn a little bit rich. But the problems he's a couple of times I've talked to him, and then this morning when I talked to him, I tend to think that you're probably somehow, when you got the timing chain and the cam gear and the crank gear, you're off just a half tooth to a tooth when you're timing.
See, I just find it interesting that it takes 8 to 10 weeks to figure this out. And then, at one point, Mark told me that the car was running. It sounded great. It sounds great. And at one point he said it was running rich. It was eating plugs, is what he told me. I don't know exactly what that means. I assume it's running too rich.
Probably too much fuel.
Yeah. So that was the story at one point, and then it's like the story just always changed, and I never knew.
I have not heard that part of it.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know.
No, I'm just telling you what he told me, and
that's fine.
Bottom line is that between what I paid to you for all the parts and so, and like you said, that top end kit, that should all jive together. There shouldn't be any issues with that. So I'm curious why, like, it doesn't make any sense to me. It's not that complicated. We're not talking about a brand new electronically controlled with all the sensors and everything, all this other nonsense and complications. These things are simple. Very simple. The internals they're not that entailed when it comes out as far as moving parts. So there can't be that many things that it could be. And honestly, when I boil it all down, what really pisses me off the most is that I spent the money that I did and the time that I did, and didn't get anything accomplished. You would think that at the very least he would get the tailgate together, but I guess that's neither here nor there. It's par for the course these days, I guess, where people just don't want to work for the money.
Yeah, Brendan, I'm at a loss. I don't know. I wish I could tell you somebody else to take it to.
It wouldn't be here in Zanesville. I'm done with Zanesville. Between all this experience
I'm really
with all these,
surprised that you've had the problems you've had with him.
Yeah.
And maybe he should have pulled that timing cover, the water pump and the timing cover off very beginning and check your timing. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a moot point.
I'm not mechanical in the job. I'm not there looking at things. When he called and said he thought the push rods might be a little bit short, he wasn't getting enough adjustment. Okay, I believe what he said. Yeah. So I spent $100 and got another set of push rods. $100 out of my pocket that I didn't charge anybody for.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that, but that's going on his word. He's telling you that the push rods are short. So if he's telling you that you sold me short push rods, then you did what you were supposed to do to be honorable to make it right. If he was wrong,
different than that,
right?
And I think they would have worked, but like I said, it looked like you might want a little bit more adjustment there, and that's why I didn't question it. I'm like, okay, no problem. Here, do ordered them in and gave them to him the next day, and when I saw the car, because I ran the push rods out and stood there for a little bit while he changed them out and kind of messed around there, but that was about it. I never heard the car run. I don't know what your next step is. I don't know if you have somebody in mind you want to take it to. If you find somebody, if you would like to have them call me after you take it there and get a rundown on what I did and the parts I've used to better help them, that is fine. I'd be willing to talk to him. No big problem. I want to see you get the car back together and running the way it's supposed to run. I just don't know who to tell you to talk to now.
Well, I mean, at this point, I'm not going to waste my time here in Zanesville anymore, Muskingum County for that matter. I can't seem to find competent people in the area. I mean, hell, I even originally sent the car out to Cambridge and wasted about $1,500 in 2.5 weeks with an idiot out there. I think I told you about.
Yeah, I no idea who that is or anything else.
Yeah, no, that's all good. That's neither here nor there.
Experience,
Yeah.
I don't know where to tell you to take the car. I mean, if you got.
Oh, I'm not asking you for that. I'm just trying to figure out at this point what the hell I'm going to do because I've got. I don't know what the problem is. I don't know if the problem is that parts are wrong or if mechanics just don't know what the hell they're doing.
I don't think you have a problem with parts, and I don't really think it's not Mark don't know what the hell he's doing. I don't know what your agreement was with him, so I have no idea. But I think what his next step should have been was pull the timing cover off and check the timing. And I think that would make the whole world of difference. Now, yes, he maybe should have done this weeks ago. I don't know. I'm not the mechanic on the job. And I don't know if he was trying to get extra money out of you. If so, then that's between you and him. I don't know. But
right.
If I was to talk to a mechanic tomorrow on the car, I'd tell him the first thing I need to do is pull the timing cover off because I think the timing is out.
Yeah. Well, no, I get that, and that's what I'll do unless I fix it myself. But no, it's these things, and it's the principle of the matter. When I take the car to a mechanic and I tell them, I need you to put these last few parts on the engine and get the engine running, and I need you to put the tailgate together, get the glass for the tailgate, and put it all together. And when we're in agreement with that for the amount to be paid for that work, and then the work doesn't get done, not only does the work not get done, the car's not running at all. I get no battery with the car, and I got no glass, and the tailgate's halfway put back together. This is why I'm pissed off, and I know that has nothing to do with you. I'm just letting you know this is, I guess this is how customers are treated here in Zanesville. I guess. I mean, I don't know what else to make of it because I didn't think it would be this complicated.
I haven't had anybody complain in the 15 years I've known Mark about any of his work. You're the very first.
Well, that's what's interesting.
And other mechanics that do stock things, I really don't have anybody calling me and telling me that there's been a problem with anybody I recommended.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what.
Look, in the future, but I just can't. Mark's a really easy to get along with guy.
Yeah, he seemed to be that way.
I don't know what he was doing, and I don't know what all you guys agreed on, and I don't want to know. But if you think you got the shaft, you think you got the shaft, and there's no going back there now. So, and I don't know who to take to talk to try to clean up the mess. And I have no idea what they would charge, to pull the timing cover off and check your timing.
Yeah, and the mess is even worse now than it was before I sent it out there. That's the sad part. I mean, this car is just it's for crying out loud, breaking window lift channels off the driver door. I mean, you name it. It's just, I mean, the car is it's a disaster. Not to mention it's filthy. They probably left it outside. It's just, it's that kind of treatment. And again, I get it. And see, I would tell Mark this to his face, but he doesn't want to hear it. He doesn't care. He got his money. That's all that matters. He got his money. He doesn't have to worry about fixing the rest of the car. That's what he got out of it. So I'm a little pissed off that it seemed I don't know who to trust because Mark tells me that you're selling me wrong parts. Mark's lying to me, so I don't know if I can trust his word. All I know is that I have a car that's not running. I spent $1,500. I spent a total of $3,000, and I spent 10 weeks.
Parts. Is there other parts that he's got in question that he hasn't asked me about?
I don't know.
Or is it just the push rods?
I don't know. I mean, whatever is wrong with the car. I mean, he every time I talked to him, it was something else or something different, and he was questioning about just about everything, and so he basically conveyed to me that I don't know if I even got all the right parts, especially with the deal with the push rods. And that's why I was concerned because it seemed to me that maybe because he didn't do the valve adjustment or the rocker adjustment, that maybe he bent the push rods or something because maybe the tension was too much on him and maybe he flattened part of the ends of the push rods and maybe that's why they were too short. But instead of just saying that, because I mean, even though I told him to adjust the rockers when I first dropped the car off to him, instead of admitting that he might have done that, he blamed you and told me that you sold me the wrong push rods. So that's where I get a little bit
I saw the push push rods he took out, I didn't see any damage in any of them. I mean, I brought them back. Or did I bring them back with me? I can't remember if I brought them back or not. Yeah, I think they're in my truck, still floating around or in my garage somewhere. I put them back in the boxes I brought out to him, but I didn't see any damaged push rods, the original push rods. So no, he didn't cause any problems there.
Yeah. See, I mean, the whole thing is just it stinks to high heaven to me, and frankly, at this point, because I got him telling me that you're selling me wrong parts, I got like I said, I got him telling me this, that, and the other thing, and then I'm catching him in lies, and I don't know what the hell to believe now. I don't know if it's even going to be worth finding another mechanic to put this together, because maybe they're going to find wrong parts, or maybe they're going to, you know what I mean? Like, it's just what was supposed to be a simple
If
deal.
you find a mechanic and he finds wrong parts, please let me know right off, because I checked everything and everything is right as far as the kits that I bought you. Okay? Now, if they're misboxed, then I wouldn't know that, because there's no part numbers on the parts inside the box. But all the part numbers on the boxes all correspond with what I bought you. So the question of wrong parts, other than the push rods, I would have a hard time coming to figure out how or why that happened. I am full confidence that as soon as you pull that timing cover off, I mean, I'm 99.9% sure that you're off on your timing. And I think that'll fix it. So if you was yourself to pull that water pump off, pull the timing cover off, roll it back to top dead center on your number one cylinder, and look at your timing, I bet you're going to see this off. And that's what the mechanic's going to do. And it's very easy to do. You reiterate back that it's just a simple engine, that's just simple. Yes, it is a simple engine compared to today's newer engines, but there's a lot of technical things that go inside that as well. And for somebody like yourself that doesn't do this all the time, it would not be hard to get off a half tooth or a tooth in your timing and cause the problems that's being caused. Now, why the first mechanic didn't catch this, or why Mark took so long to come to this term after dicking around with it for however long, I don't know the reason why. But I think if you would start there and look at the timing, I think it'll all come back around and everything would work itself out if the timing was, if it is out of time and not right. Now, if it is in time perfectly, then there is other problems to look at. And I have not heard the car run. I don't know exactly what it's doing or try to start or anything else. Then you can be determined, okay, well, maybe this is happening. Maybe that's happening. And it's going to be a process on any engine somebody does. Hold on one second. I got to answer my other line. Can you hold on a minute?
Actually, no, I'm just going to let you go. I appreciate
All
your
right.
time. Have a good night.